let's talk waiver wire pitchers. And the first group, these names could be available in shallower leagues. Matt Waldron has allowed 2 earned runs or less in 6 straight. He was up against the D-backs, where he allowed 1 run over 6 innings. And over his last 6 starts, Waldron has a 1.78 ERA and a .91 whip. Hunter Brown has turned in 4 quality starts in a row. He was at the Angels, where he threw 6 shutout, 2 hits, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, had 11 whiffs on 98 pitches. His fastball velocity was up 1.5 miles per hour in this start. Again, that's Hunter Brown. Taj Bradley bounced back with a solid outing against the Orioles. 5 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, had 18 whiffs on 99 pitches. He continues to get whiffs. That is not the problem. The problem for Taj Bradley is that he is allowing 91.8 average exit velocity against and a 17% barrel rate. I mean, that's like elite. Like, if we're just talking about barrel rates, that's like top 5 in the league. And that's what's happening against Taj Bradley right now. So, he gets the whiffs, but allows a lot of hard contact.
But that didn't happen in this start, right?
In this start, it was, no, just 2 hard hits allowed. But just on the season in general, it's been a lot of loud contact against Bradley. How would you rank those names in shallower leagues? Waldron, Hunter Brown, and Taj. I love how I said his name like I know him. Taj. Yeah, that's my
Taj. Yeah. It'd be hard not to put Waldron number 1. It's you never want to feel too cozy with a knuckleballer, because it's just such a it's an enigma, that pitch, and it's going to be erratic at times, and the number of really high-end pitchers who have been knuckleballers is very small. But he's on such a good run right now. Matt Waldron, 1.78 ERA, .91 whip, 9.9 K per 9 over his last 6 starts, that I feel like he's the top priority here. But I do really like Taj Bradley, and I will always prioritize whiffs over contact quality, especially since I believe it to be stickier. I believe, particularly over a small sample like we've seen from Taj Bradley so far, it's more meaningful to his long-term outcomes. And I like the way he bounced back from really bad starts. But Hunter Brown's trending well too. I just don't have a lot of faith in him since he was so miserable for so long. There's upside here though, and his recent success, Hunter Brown's, has coincided with him fading his fastball. He threw it only 24% of the time in this one. He said it was harder. The velocity was up on it 1.5 miles per hour, but he's throwing it less, which seems to be a good development. 24% of the time in this one, 39% overall. But 3 starts in a row where he's been fading the fastball, Hunter Brown, and the results speak for themselves. So hopefully he's turned the corner there, and I think there's a lot of upside still.
Would you take any of the prospects we mentioned earlier, Hurston Waldrop, Drew Thorpe, over any of the names I just mentioned? Waldron, Taj Bradley, Hunter Brown.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up, because it does offer some real perspective, doesn't it? I would not take any of them over these 3, Waldron, Brown, and Bradley. They are not as interesting to me as these 3.
All right. So
did I phrase that right? The prospects are behind. The prospects are lower priority than Waldron, Hunter Brown, and Taj Bradley.
I think that's fair. Would you drop either of Reese, Olson, who, wow, I mean, holy regression. What happened here? He gave up 8 earned runs on 12 hits over 4 innings. The overall numbers still look good, so maybe this was just whatever. Exactly what I said. A regression start for Reese Olson. And Brayan Bello, in 6 starts since returning from the IL. He's got a 6.25 ERA, a 1.61 whip. Would you drop either of those names for the 5 I just brought
up? Okay. I would drop Bello for most anything. I've been a Bello skeptic for a while now, and certainly he's not done anything to win my favor. So I think if we were ranking the 7 pitchers, Bello might go at the bottom of the list for me. I mean, he did this against the White Sox too. So rough. Yeah, he's got a lot to prove. I still have faith in Reese Olson. So in his last 2 starts, his ERA has gone from Sorry, I thought I had that number right here ready to go. Okay, so in his last 2 starts, Reese Olson's ERA has oh, no, it's not here either. It was below 2 and now it's 3.43. Okay? So it's been a quick turnaround. And really, especially this start, it was just so dreadful with the 12 hits, the 8 earned runs in 4 innings. But even in this start, his changeup and slider had very high whiff rates. They still have over 40% whiff rate on the season. He throws both of them a lot. The Tigers, I went looking for answers after this start to see if something was wrong with Reese Olson, and they weren't talking that way. They said they'd look at the tape and see what happened, and they feel pretty confident he'll turn things around. I kept him in my 10 sleeper hitters for this upcoming scoring period because his matchup is against the Nationals, who are in the bottom third in runs scored. I moved him down the list quite a bit, Reese Olson, but I kept him among those 10 sleeper pitchers. And I think if he does get dropped in a lot of leagues, it might be worthwhile picking him up. I like him more than Matt Waldrop. I didn't say the first name right. Hurston Waldrop, like Thurston Howell III. I like Reese Olson more than Hurston Waldrop, and I like him more than Drew Thorpe still. So maybe I should rank all 7 pitchers.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Matt Waldron 1, Taj Bradley 2, Reese Olson 3, Hunter Brown 4, Hurston Waldrop 5, Drew Thorpe 6, and Brayan Bello 7.
There you go. Waiver wire pitchers part 2. Kyle Gibson turned in another quality start up against the Rockies. 6 innings, 3 runs, 7 strikeouts, had 16 whiffs on 93 pitches. And over his last 3 starts, Kyle Gibson has a 15.5% swinging strike rate. I thought that was pretty interesting. Jake Irvin has the Braves number, apparently. He's looked really good against not just the Braves, but specifically them recently. He threw 6 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts, had 16 whiffs on 96 pitches. He gets the Tigers this week. Great matchup. Ben Lively, not really sure how, but he's doing it. He was at the Marlins. He threw 5 shutout, 3 hits, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. And Simeon Woods Richardson turned in a quality start at the Pirates. 6 1/3, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 0 walks, had 17 whiffs on 97 pitches. Scott, how would you rank Woods Richardson, Ben Lively, Jake Irvin, and Kyle Gibson?
Irvin 1, Gibson 2, Woods Richardson 3, Ben Lively 4. And Lively is, I think, the one who stands out is I just have no explanation for why he's pitching well, and I really don't expect it to last. Woods Richardson, high fly ball rate, low walk rate. You could see home runs becoming an issue at some point if he continues with this approach, but with the ball not carrying so well, you could kind of understand the success he's had. My favorite 2, though, of this group are clearly Irvin and Gibson. I think Gibson's going to continue to run hot and cold as he has throughout his career, but when he has a good start, he works deep into the game. He gets a lot of whiffs with that sweeper, and I think he's highly usable, even in a pitching saturated environment. The most interesting to me, though, is Jake Irvin, who I think I'm kind of leaning toward him just being good. Not like ace level, not like 3.12 ERA and 103 whip good like he currently has, but throws a lot of strikes. His fastball and curveball legitimately seem to be good pitches that have, even going back to last year, they've delivered good outcomes for Jake Irvin. And I think he's just a really respectable number 3, 4 type pitcher who's going to have value in fantasy for the foreseeable future. Not number 3, number 4 in a fantasy sense, but in a real life sense.